In this video series on logic puzzles, one title I covered earlier was Chroma Cube, a deduction puzzle in which you are challenged to place the colored wooden cubes in the proper places in the grid being held horizontal when you're actually solving the puzzles, and each challenge has a series of written clues that you have to decipher and put together and eventually figure out where all the cubes go. So you may have an individual clue that says something like black is not on the bottom row, or peach is not adjacent to the 3 green cubes, or blue and violet are in the same column, and you put all that information together and you figure out where things go. And as you get into the more difficult challenges in Chroma Cube, the puzzle creator creates their own language that kind of gives an additional layer of interpretation that you need to go through in order to figure out where everything fits. So today, I'm going to show you a couple of other deduction puzzles that use only visual clues. So there's no lingual trickery, only visual trickery that you have to decipher. Let me show you how these work. The puzzle format for both Chocolate Fix and Minecraft Magnetic Travel Puzzle is the same, and it comes courtesy of Mark Engelberg, with the 40 challenges in each of these puzzles being designed by Sergei Grabarchuk Jr. In both puzzles, you are given 9 objects that come in 3 colors and 3 shapes, and you must place them in the proper positions in a 3x3 grid using only the visual cues given to you in the puzzle book. So looking at Chocolate Fix first, which has been in print continuously as far as I know since at least 2007. I'll note this is a used copy that I think the previous owner left out in the sun because the pinks should be all the same shade. I've had another copy of this puzzle in the past and the pinks were the same, the light brown were all the same, but now they're all different based on whatever that person did to it. For each of these puzzles, you take the pieces, you put them to the side, you can read through the directions, or in the beginner case, you can just follow the clues on here because the first puzzle pretty much makes it impossible for you not to solve. In this case, you're shown a 3x3 grid. You see the dark round chocolate piece goes here, and the square pink chocolate, I'm not sure what pink chocolate is, goes here. And you can quickly see almost where everything goes. And then at the end, you see, oh, there's a pink one in the upper left corner. Well, there's only one pink one left. Oh, and this one's a square. Clearly it goes here, and the solution is on the back, and you see it's perfect. And then you move on. The initial challenges are extremely easy. This is for ages 8 and up. This does not seem difficult at all because it's telling you directly where 6 of the pieces go, and then you just see where the remaining 3 go, but there's only 1 of each color left, so of course you know where those go. You have to escalate through the challenges a bit to start getting things that are more complicated. So, okay, you see where the shapes are in this puzzle for all of the pieces, but there's 3 dark ones in a column. So which column could those 3 dark ones be? I will not give that away. So you escalate through and things get more challenging as you start getting into having fewer clues and different types of clues. So I will not take you through all 40 of these right now, but that's a general format. The Minecraft puzzle works similarly, except it is a travel format, so it's got a magnetic board that the pieces stick to, so you can use it while traveling in the car. You have the solutions in the middle here, so you kind of keep those hidden. You look at this puzzle, and this first one is at the same level of difficulty as in Chocolate Fix, as in no difficulty at all, because it tells you exactly where 7 of the pieces go, and then, oh, there's a gray one and a green one, and there's only 1 of each left. And similarly, the beginning challenges are equally easy, but they are not identical. So there's 40 challenges in the Minecraft book, there's 40 Chocolate Fix challenges, and as far as I've been able to determine, and I've gone through all 40 puzzles in each, there are no duplications. Everything is unique to each one, even though the level of difficulty is kind of on par for each of them, and it scales up over time. The only difficulty that I've had in solving these puzzles is that the black and white versions here, so this is showing you that the 3 pieces of armor are in this particular shape somewhere in the grid, so you know it's here, 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 or here. But sometimes the black and white image looks very similar to the gray image, and you will mistake one for the other. Although in this case, you've got 3 armors together and you know what it is. In this one, it could be the green armor, the yellow pick, and is it a black and white sword? No, it is the gray sword. So you just have to be a little cautious there. And then you can make sure to piece everything together as you go. I recently started watching the YouTube channel Cracking the Cryptic, which, if you're not familiar with it, shows people solving Sudoku problems. Specifically, incredibly difficult Sudoku problems that have special rules that you will not find in a regular Sudoku. There was one, for example, that had only 4 digits in the grid to start with, but it had 3 extra rules, with the central square being a magic square, that is, the 3 rows and columns and diagonals all added up to the same sum. The 2 long diagonals did not repeat digits, so they had 1 to 9 in some order in each long diagonal, and no number was a knight's move away from the same number. So knight's move as in chess. You cannot go on a 2 and do a knight's move hop and land on a 2. So using those extra rules in addition to the 4 starting digits, you could solve the puzzle. Now, the beauty of cracking the cryptic is that each video link has a link to the puzzle itself. So you can just get the initial setup and then go off and try to solve it all on your own, or you can do what you can and then maybe you get stuck and you start watching the video a little and you see a clue and then, okay, pause, and you go off and solve more, and maybe you can get it all done with just a few clues, or you can watch someone solve it themselves. And it's kind of like watching a detective in a movie solve a case, because the Sudoku is set up so that you can get something and it will eventually lead to another part of the puzzle and another part of the puzzle, and it all works together magically, where you unlock particular elements of the puzzle and eventually you can get it all. It's not chance, it's not random, but it's all there waiting for you to solve it in a particular way, and the challenge is for you to figure it out. Now, Chocolate Fix and Minecraft work the same way, but they're on a much smaller scale because they're only a 3x3 grid instead of the 9x9 grid. But it's sometimes great just as you're working the puzzle and you're trying to figure it out, you can see the beauty of how the clues work together to unlock something, which then carries through to another clue, and eventually it gets you to the finish line. Let's look at an example of how a puzzle gets unlocked using Challenge 33 from Chocolate Fix as our model. I will not run through the entire challenge, but I want to give you a taste for how well crafted these challenges are in giving you enough information that once you put everything together, you can figure it all out. So in this case, you have 9 clues, which is the same number as in Challenge 1, but these clues are much more nebulous in terms of where things are. You know that there is a pink piece in either this space or this space because you're looking at this particular shape. You're looking at that shape here and here. Okay, one of these is pink, but you don't know which piece or which location. You know that there's a triangle in this space, but not which of the 3 triangles. Except once you start combining this with other clues, such as this light brown triangle being either here or here. Again, looking at the shape available, you know it's in one of these 2 locations, and therefore the light brown triangle is not that triangle. That's one of those 2 over there, but you don't know where this goes. Except once you start looking at another clue, you know that there is a square in either this location or this one, again, because of the shape as you're trying to look at it, but you know that this shape must be a triangle, therefore a square must go here, which means this triangle cannot go here, but instead must go there. All right, there we go. We're starting. Oh, we see that this has a circle, okay, in either this corner or this corner, but this one is already known to be a triangle, therefore a circle must go here. And if a circle goes here, and you look at this clue with the light brown square, must go in either here or here, but this is a circle, therefore this one goes here. And the other light brown goes here, that's a circle, so it can go here or here, but this is a triangle, and therefore it cannot go where the triangle is. And now you have a third of the pieces in. You use the information on what's left behind also to help you figure out where things go. You know this is a circle, well now it's one of these 2 circles. And you can continue to work through the clues in order to figure out where everything else goes. It's really marvelous how well these are designed, and Minecraft works similarly in that you have the initial puzzles that are fairly easy, especially because I've done a lot of these over the years. So you work your way through them, they have only a few clues, but once you get up to the advanced clues, you also have negative clues, which shows you what does not exist. So you know that there is no yellow piece in this location, and there's no armor here, and there's no pick here. Oops, sorry, here. There's no armor, no pick, so there has to be a sword in this space. You don't know which color, except if you look at the other things, well, there's the yellow one, there's the gray one, so you know the green sword must be here. And then you can carry through with everything else, and eventually you'll figure out where all the pieces are. It's so clever that these negative clues initially spell not. Yes, just to give you a reminder of what's not going to happen. And as you go on, you get this mix, sometimes only negative clues or positive and negative. Again, this is an example of how these puzzles or these challenges are not the same as in Chocolate Fix, because Chocolate Fix has no negative clues. An additional twist when you're doing the Minecraft puzzles. So you look at this expert one here where it's only negative clues. You see there is not the case that gray is ever going to have a space underneath it. So therefore, all the gray ones must be in the bottom row. You don't know where, but you know they're there. In addition, it's not the case that there will ever be a yellow piece that is northwest of a gray piece. So the yellow do not go here. Instead, the 3 yellow are among these 4 spaces up here. Okay. And then you start putting all these things together and working out possibilities, and eventually you just have answers fall out for where things must be. If these are not yellow and the gray are all here, then these must be green. And if these are green, oh, there can't be an armor underneath green, so therefore this armor must go here. All right. You got that locked in, and then you carry on with everything else. And there's an overview of Chocolate Fix and Minecraft Magnetic Travel Puzzle, which I bought used and received as a review copy from ThinkFun. Both puzzles have the same format, the same structure, where you are given visual clues, and then you must work from those clues in order to find the solution. The challenges are unique in each puzzle, so having one does not mean that you already have the puzzles of the other. Instead, they sort of work in a complementary manner. If you have 2 children in your family, you can get both of them, and then they can each have their own thing they're doing, and then they can swap when they're done, if that happens to be the case. Now, these puzzles are well designed. They seem somewhat easy, although I'm speaking as someone who is 1, not 8 years old, which is the suggested age range for these puzzles, and 2, as someone who has solved lots of these puzzles over the years. I've owned Chocolate Fix for quite a number of years. Don't remember when I initially got it, and I solve it every so often, and then I'll put it back in the box, and I'll bring it out again and solve it again. We get lots of exchange students who stay at our house, and so I often introduce them to logic puzzles. Just they have something to do if they're bored, if they're done with their homework, or whatever the case happens to be. So it's great having these puzzles around the house for those occasions, or just for me to break them out every so often and run through them. And it's weird how compelling it is. This is just something about me as the solver, where I'm still given puzzle 1 that shows you almost everything, and I still feel compelled to put those pieces into place before I can flip this over and move on to puzzle 2. I already can see how to solve it in my mind, and yet still I just want to get everything in place. That's often the appeal of these. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, but instead of just matching the shapes, you're trying to match the idea of the shapes, the concept of the shapes, and figure out how things go. And you get this little buzz as you solve the puzzle, and you're like, okay, and now I go on to the next thing. Everything starts unfolding and unlocking. And again, as I said, like a detective solving a mystery, you unravel one clue and it leads to something else, and eventually you've got the whole picture in front of you. And then you can just move on to the next challenge. Little challenges over and over again that you know can be solved. You know a solution exists. It's just up to you to follow the clues to that solution.